How you do dual streaming? And I forget how the fuck to do that shit.
Uh, fuck. You go. Settings.
Oh shit, it said enable dual right there.
That's good.
How you know which one is YouTube and which one is John?
Nah, I I got paid.
Ah, ha
Don't
ha ha
worry,
ha
I
ha.
got paid. uh,
All right, Uber stream,
you
bro.
said what? Huh? I'm
Oh, that's how
chilling.
you do it.
My phone rate dying and shit. I said that. Huh? My shit all lagging and shit. I can't hear you. What you say? My phone is plugged up to the car. How you gonna tell me?
I'm gonna say free,
When
free
I answered
game.
when I answered the phone, you didn't see me anywhere because my camera wasn't on when I answered the phone.
My fool.
Nah. Well, I'm actually not home, so I'm around. I'm in my body. I'm in my body. Mm, attached to my feet on the ground, on land, earth, rotating around the sun, in space, in the Milky Way, on a little speck. Yeah, you can hear me. See how your phone ready to die, but your phone on the charger. Oh, you got some juice. Talk about your phone ready to die. I just want to rock. Body yada yada. You alright, man.
You ready,
Yo,
bro?
gang, are you alive?
Yeah.
Like,
You ready?
did you get your stream ready? Like,
Yeah, I'm ready.
all right, bro. All right, bro. Yeah, I'm not home though.
I'm streaming, eh?
I'm at my
You
man's
ready? You
crib.
ready for this free game? Are you ready for this free game?
You said what? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? What chart are you on?
I'm on S&P right now. I'm gonna show you some S&P setups, and then I'm gonna show you um some other setups as well on gold that you could take advantage of. So we're gonna get into the setup that I actually did have drawn up last night, and I'm kind of sad that I'm kind of sad that cause I put a limit order in for this one too. Cause last night I wanted to see it drop before it did all of this right here. You can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before it did all of this shit in this purple box, bro, I wanted to see it do this. So it was up here. I was looking for it. My point of interest, which is identified on the 15-minute time frame, would have been this high right here. So this high was my point of interest last night, and it actually did end up running into it. Mark that off, and it has a little X right there. Boom, that's the point of interest line right there. This John, what you could do is drop down to a lower time frame, but given that it ran this and there's so much going on outside of here, the higher the time frame, the better, because it weeds out all that negative stuff that you might see and think it's a setup and it's not. So it really like cancels out all the noise if you stay on a higher time frame. So if it does show up on a higher time frame, you could use the higher time frame. I'd rather you use the higher time frame. So you can see here we got a bullish fair value gap going up right here, and then you can see inside of that as well we got a bearish one going down right where this joint broke at. And that's really where we want to see this BPR form. So we can clearly see that we got two fair value gaps. We can't really tell which one is bigger and which one's smaller. So I will pull out this tool, measure this one. I already know which one is bigger because I did this earlier. But the bottom one is going to be smaller. So we're going to use the bottom one. And we're going to delete the bigger one. Now we're about to use this BPR right here. And look at that, bro. I had this limit in too. That's crazy. Like before I had the limits in down here to buy earlier, I was looking for to sell pre like before that, which is crazy. But yeah, so it did end up coming to tap in, but that's not all the setup is. Now if we add, let's see if we had any rise SMT levels right there.
Can you draw this up on the 15?
Yeah. You can if it shows up on the 15, like if you could see a fair value gap and shit, two fair value gaps on the 15, you can. But if the shit doesn't show up right there, bro, then what you need to do is just then drop down to the 5. You can get more volume. But then you see how many more fair value gaps there are. We've got one right here, some over here. Like when you stay on a higher time frame, like this is my tip to you. When it comes to the point of interest, if it goes past the point of interest and it's really just like it's just diddly daddling out there type shit, like it's just what you say, consolidating and shit, then what I would say is for sure just stay on the higher time frame because lower time frame is gonna be a lot of noise, a lot of fair value gaps. You have to do a lot of decision making. And as a trader, you want to do as least decision making as possible. Just stay to your strategy and follow this checklist. So the next one on the checklist would be you want to pull out your fib. So from the low or the high that or the move that got to your point of interest, which would be the high because we're looking to sell at this point, and then you would draw the fib to right before it finally decided to retrace. Now, since this joint went for a little while before retracing, we would be using this low down here. Now, we didn't really get a good fib level, but if we were only entering off fib levels and stuff like that, what we would do is take the entry joint, put it at the 78, the deepest one, because at this point, that's the safest. We really wouldn't want to be buying in here. Um, you could, I mean, selling in here, you could, but it's just risky. Like I said, like you could have sold right here when it tapped into the 62 and got whatever this move was right here. But honestly, looking at it big picture, it took a while to go down. Honestly, I was already knowing it's going to take a while to go up. That's why I took out these orders and I just started looking for a bullish move, which would have tapped back in down here. And I just could see it off the rip because I'm so used to seeing this setup. But yeah, you would take that, John. Your stop loss would be above the high that you're marking it from. So whenever it ran the point of interest, that high is where your stop loss is going to be 9 times out of 10. Eventually, I'm going to learn how to start getting tighter stop losses so that my reward could be bigger, and then we can make. Let's say this shit went for a 1 to 5, but let's just say we was targeting these lows and we just waiting. Honestly, I do think we're going to get to these lows, and that's why I'm looking to find my next setup at these lows. But that's how that joint work. I'm gonna go through another example. I was showing you about the discount and premium. So when you're trying to pull that fib up, you literally just draw a fib from the high point that broke the high that your point of interest was type shit, and then you oh, I just realized I gotta keep this shit right here because people on shorts. But yeah, this high right here to the low right before it started retracing, which would be this low. You could even do this low really because it came in, but honestly, I like to do the whole range. This is the range that we're working in. This is called your dealing range. So this is what you're dealing with. This is the range that you're dealing with. We got external highs and lows. This is our points of target. So this line right here is what I'm targeting to get my next entry off down here. So this will be my next point of interest. I can't really show you a
What
setup
tool is
there
that
because it didn't happen yet. You said what? What tool is what?
that you just was using?
This John?
Yeah,
It's a fib.
it's a
The fib
fit.
levels for these need the fib levels for them. What you do is
I need them
turn the
numbers.
background on and then it's the 0, 1, and 0.5. Then the colors is red, red, green. The only one green is red.
Hold
I
on.
mean, one.
I gotta I need to do all my fibs.
Honestly, this fib, and I'm gonna give you the golden pocket zone fib too. Those are the only fibs, honestly, I say you would need.
One sec. Uh, and then what else? That's it on this John. That's
Yeah, it's just this is just your you can name it D/P, and that's just discount/premium. It just tells you where you want to be getting your entries at. So this entry right here is in the green. This would have been a perfect opportunity to sell. And why else would we have sold near this BPR in it? We didn't really get a good golden pocket zone tracement, but we still could have got a decent entry off of say if we only entered in for the fib levels and not the BPRs. 9 times out of 10, you want to enter in off of the fib level that lines up with the BPR, and in this case, the closest one is 78%. So that's what we would have been using, and we did get some deep retracement, and it eventually dropped. So we would have got a nice little, only a little 1 or 2 right here. But if we're targeting these lows, which I do think we could go grab, you'll be targeting 1 to 3. So that's my whole thing right there. I'm gonna go over some more setups though. So let me know. Do you have the golden pocket zones?
Nah, I need that.
This is the golden pocket zones. This is what I used as my last and final like checklist, I would say, on the checklist. I've been seeing if any BPR lines up with any of those, and that's where I put my limit order and just wait. And then when I tell you I'm deleting these limit orders, it's because I'm thinking it's just gonna leave and not come back, and then it ends up coming back, and then I end up getting left, and then it'd be a little headache.
What's that? 0.65.
0.66, 0.78, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.62.
0.78. 0.50. Oh shit. What I just do? Uh,
Yeah.
what I just do?
Ah, freak. That Joe just cooked me.
Let me see. 0. 0.5.
But yeah, the move that I caught like 300. Did you go to levels?
No.
Oh shit. So which one you
Be
need? Which
hard as
ones
hell
you
to
want?
see. 0.7.
0.7 and 0.62. Yeah.
Point 7. Alright. Alright. Say no more. Say no more.
You got the colors down and everything too?
Golden. Yeah.
All right, bet. Let me show you another example. Nice clear cut John. And the reason we use these highs is because if we look, see when this high was made, this was made last Wednesday on 26th. So this is a previous day high. In between each of these lines is 1 day. So this is a previous day high. If we go to the daily time frame, reset the chart view because what? Where the hell's that little line at? Wednesday the 26th. Damn, that's May. Wednesday the 26th. Was it the 26th, right? Was it the 26th? Yeah, this high right here. So it was this previous day high that we took out yesterday, which is or on Friday. So this setup would have happened on Friday. But it would have started on Friday, but we wouldn't have took advantage of it until whatever day that was where it ran it, which was today. So we wouldn't have got that move till Monday. This was Sunday night actually. Sunday night it dropped from here, and then yeah, we didn't get that move till Monday. Monday in the afternoon, which sucks because at that point I was looking for buys and I got nice ass move or would have caught a nice ass move had I got in there. But we refined the checklist and we're gonna continue to just keep going. Let me find another setup now on the 15 minute. Let's just see where a good day where we could have caught a nice setup. Let's see. When was I back testing these joints before? We got a nice joint down here. If we was using this low down here, let's see if this is one. Matter of fact, I don't know if this is one I back tested or not. But the reason I'm using this low is because, like I said, this is just the previous day low. So that's just the easiest low you could use. And you could look for it to be ran. They got ran at 5 a.m. 7 a.m. and then it came back just to tap into it one more time at 10 a.m. and we probably could get an entry there. So in the 15 minute, we could just automatically look and see if we see any gaps. I see one and then two. Perfect ass setup right here. But this happened at 5 a.m. We got this one and then we got a bullish one right here on the other side of that. We use whatever one, like, say you got 2 times it came below there, like this time. 2 times it came below there. Whichever gap is lower, we're using the one to discount, the one that's further in discount. So we're going to delete the bigger one because that one was obviously bigger. Drag it over. And then, like I said, it retrace into it at 10:45. If you go from the low that it used to break this point of interest, which is right here, to the high before it retraced at 10, which is right here, we could clearly see that our BPR lines up with the 70%. And if it lines up with the 70%, say before this shit started retracing. So let's just say that all of this shit wasn't here. And the only thing we saw was the first couple downward candlesticks. You're probably like, we got a lot of levels in there of which we could use. The one that you want to use is either 70 or 78. The only time you would use the 62 and 66 is if this low went even lower, dragging it down like this. And now those are the only two zones that are in the BPR. You really want to use whichever one is in the BPR. But if it's the 70 or 78, those are the ones you favor.
Okay.
Damn, what the fuck did I just do? Bro, what the hell did I just... Oh, there we go. So those are the ones that you favor, 70 and 70 and 78. Those are the ones I've been favoring. And then, like I said, if we would have put that limit in right there, let's say we wanted to get at the 70%, John, stops below this low right here, the lowest low, keeping us safe. Damn. Getting at the 70, targeting, let's say we was targeting these highs right up here. I would grab this joint, drag it up to these highs, and our TP would have been fulfilled at 145. We got full TP for a 1 to 5, almost a 1 to 5, 1 to 4.5. But if we held, we could have held to a 1 to 5 because it kept going higher, almost a 1 to 6. But yeah, bro, this shit pop up so often. And like I said, you don't want to be buying in a premium. How you know if it's a good setup or not is if all of this shows up and then you go to the fib, you could just change the fib setting. All right, so now this, if this BPR is in the discount, which is in the green, it is. Now let's change it back to GPZ. See which one are we going to use to get in. I favor the 70 and 78%. It could really go off of any of these. So like one day you might get edged because it went off to 62 and you had your order at the 70. But if your BPR is lined up with the 70 or 78, go with one of those two. It's really subjective. So however you feel that day, and intuition wise, if price hasn't really been running these like areas of interest how you've been wanting to all day, then you'll probably put that in the back of your head and know that, all right, I'm gonna just jump the gun on this one and get a little bit earlier because it hasn't even been tapping in previously. So, but yeah, we would have got this nice trade at 11 o'clock. Say we tapped in at 11. Well, we would have tapped in at 10:30 first. So this would have been a picture perfect setup during New York, and all it did was run London low. We're looking at what happened during Asia, or what happened during London, and then what happened during pre-New York, which is London anyway. Same shit. It's literally the same thing that happened today. Literally the same exact carbon copy shit. I'm gonna go over it on why I wanted to take that setup today. I don't know if it was on S&P or not. I think it was NQ. I wanted to take that setup on. I have this at that high. Definitely wanted to have it down here. But yeah. All right, we're gonna go over exactly why I wanted to take that setup today. So if we look, let me go to the 1 hour. I think that's where I got this area of interest from. Was it this, John? I don't know if it was these lows. These are new lows that I want to see ran. So yeah, was it these lows? It was definitely coming off of here. What time was this at? 7 a.m. It didn't even really run these lows. Let me see. Let me mark this and just go down to a lower time frame. So say if I was using this, I don't think this was the low. This might have been the low that. Oh no, yeah, it was this low. So this one, this is a setup where it kind of is a gray area setup, which is probably why I was so like impartial about getting in or not. Well, I say impartial, like I didn't know if I really wanted to get in or not, honestly. But let's see how we could have took advantage of here. Let's go down to the 15 minute. We see that we did tap back into this low at this time, 7:45. This is our point of entry. I need to get rid of this because this line is kind of confusing. Let me go back to the 1 hour. Yeah, so this was the low I was using. I didn't use this wick because this black line was in the way of this wick. I didn't even see this wick, honestly. So I had my shit off this flat bottom right here. This was the displacement, to be honest. This move right here clearly went up. It clearly projected right here and went up. So that's why I use this low and not this wick. Typically, I do use the wicks, but that's if we get a clean break. Days like this, we did not get a clean break of any low but Asia low. And there probably is a setup in there somewhere, but I'm not going to go over that right now. I think this is where my entry was, just on the lower time frame. So I'm going to see. It was that low, though. Let me see. Was that my entry? Well, I wanted to get in. No, yeah, it was that low up there then. Yeah, it was that low up there then. So we're going to mark that low. So no gray area trades, chat. If it don't break that low, like even this candlestick right here, if it don't break this low, I wouldn't count on this setup working. It really needs to push past like how it did up here, push past that high. Next area of target, I knew after we pushed past these highs, I knew damn well that we was bullish. Like just looking at the past, I'm not an idiot. So my next target was these lows before price came and completely obliterated it and danced outside of it. But that's what I like to see. I said I like to see when it really breaks the low and dances outside of it. So something like this, it wouldn't have sufficed because it's just a little. It didn't break it. About point blank period, didn't break it. Look on the 15 minute. At what point when it broke this low right here, got all this noise going on down here, but it still is a setup in here. So if we look at the bottom, because like I said, we want to find the we want to take a trade in a discount, not the premium. So the lowest one, which is that would be the one in the premium. I mean the discount. Fuck. I gotta change that. That's annoying as hell. Hold on. There we go. So we got a fair value gap down here. It's a nice small jump. So we got two setups that could have happened in this bitch. That's crazy. We gonna only go over this one. Just so I don't overcomplicate it. Then we gonna move to the next one. Got this tight ass 15 minute right here. And if we look right next door, we got another 15 minutes. So this is another setup where we could have caught on a higher time frame, looking at the bigger picture, knowing that, hey, we was just dumb bearish. But looking at the overall picture, bro, this shit's been going up, bro. So that's why I'm really bullish and not afraid to buy down here. Look, Age of Sessions got ran through. I'm gonna highlight this right here just so we could know that this is the key level. So let me know if you get confused by too much going on in the chart. But that's the key level of what we're looking to be broken. That was broken right here on this move. Down right here. Right through this bitch. That shit got cooked. Cooked, chat. Then, like I said, you drop those two fair value gaps. They got to be opposing. Whichever one is smaller, use that jump. Drag out this. So we didn't get a play on it here, which that's fine. This is where a nigga got left to the first time. But if we look, bro, we would have waited till just 7:45. Shit would have came back and tapped into this jump. Now, how we get this entry, we're not just going off this BPR, like I said. We're going to take where it broke this key level at. So the low that it made breaking this, which is going to be this low down here, because this is the move that broke it. It broke it here, but then it quickly went back into it. But then it really broke it right here. So this is the low that we're going to be marking, the lowest point of that, to where before it started retracing. So this is the high point. Now, like I said, use whatever fib level is closest to the BPR. And if you can see which one is closest, it's the 78% jump. Like I said, you'd have just put your limit right here. Stops below here. Gang, you could have held this bitch to the moon all morning. To this, you could have held it back up to this BPR where you were targeting for this other setup that we had drawn up for shorts, bro. It's like you could have bought into the sales. Like that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. W setup right here, this is what I missed early in the morning. And then when you call me, it tapped back in to another BPR on a lower time frame. So this move right here, or where is it? This John, well, not yet. This John right here, 920, tap back into a lower time frame BPR. That's why I was looking to get into it. I should have just gotten off my first initial idea. Let me get rid of this dumbass line, because now that shit getting too bulky for my liking. But yeah, we could have caught these longs up here. It would have took a little minute for it to play out, bro. But it did play out. Came back, tapped back in at 8. Went higher, came back to this fib level up here. So you wouldn't have been able to get in at this premium in price. I mean, discount in price. I think it would have still been good because this joint has a 50% level. I gotta get off. I hate being on a lower time frame after marking it up on a higher time frame because they make everything so damn big. But this 50% level right here, anything above this will be a discount. It will be a premium, and that we don't buy or sell in premiums. The fuck is that right here? So yeah, this would be in a red. Anything above that 50% would be red. This is just 50%. So any fib you got 50% marked out, just know anything above that you don't want to be buying unless like price is very bullish and you're expecting a continuation. Then I got different fib levels for that. I wouldn't be using this setup type shit. Using the golden pocket zones, tapped into the 78, went a little bit below it, but if our stop loss was below this low down here, which is why I do that, we would have been cooking, bro, eating. Like this trade would have went all morning. We'd have been chilling. Then we could have caught the shorts going down. Feel me? So it's like niggas could be, yeah, bro. About to start killing the markets thing. Let me know if you need any, for me, any questions on the checklist. I could go over the checklist. Matter of fact, let me start going over the reasonings for these trades. Matter of fact, because I want you to get the checklist down. I'm gonna go over the checklist, and then the next setup that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break down the checklist and how I actually stay true to it in all of those setups. I'm not gonna go over for all of those setups. So the play is on the 1 hour or the 15 minute. Like the first thing you want to do, as soon as you turn on your charts, after you feel me, do your little ritual, whatever you got going on for when you come to the charts. For me, I read my success plan that I made it in February, and I read it every time right before I trade. I might even pray. Then I come to the charts. But first thing after that, first thing I'm doing, 1 hour or 15 minute chart, 1 hour or 15 minute time frame. I'm determining my point of interest. My point of interest every time. We're gonna just go on gold for this, just to go over that one setup, wherever the hell it's at. 15 minute right here. The easiest way to find a point of interest is using that the same joint that we've been using. So we gotta, let me bring that back, matter of fact. So we gotta remember before any of this price action occurred, the only high that we have is the high that it created right here. So this is the high that we created. We could even use this high up here, but it never really ran it. Probably ran it another day. But just to keep things simple, we're gonna just look to our left. What is the most recent high? Most relevant high? What time was this high created? At 8:45. This is London high. So we got London high right here. So we could expect New York to possibly go and grab these highs. That's why that high is so important. It created the high today, but price was bullish previously to market open. We get to 8:45, it retraces a little bit. I'm expecting 9:30 to be bullish and take that high out, and I'll get my setup to possibly maybe even look for a short. For me, the reason I'm saying short is because that's the only thing that would make sense in this area right now. We haven't been like if we just look in previous day, John, right here, all right here, it's been kind of just choppy and consolidating. This price action is kind of a little horrible. On mobile, y'all can't see what I'm talking about. Y'all can see this area right here, but it's just been horrible price action. Um, we haven't been really going anywhere. So I would say short term, I would be bearish right here. Um, and I would just look for New York to run this high, then maybe fell back lower, whatever. That's just saying, all right, we can't see this area right here. Now let's just bring it into play. Determining our point of interest, it will be this high right here, which did get ran. And that's pretty much how you do it. We're on a 15-minute time frame. That's the first step of the checklist. Just determine your point of interest. Meaning you're not worried about the damn charts. So until that shit ran that high, all I had right here was an alert. I put an alert right there, and all that is a line. Let's just pretend this is an alert. Say I put my alert right there to alert me so that before it hits the high, I get an idea on what I want to do, what I want to see happen. I can start setting up my limit order and shit like that. Once it runs that high, which getting into the second thing you want to do, you want to drop to a lower time frame if the higher time frame isn't showing you a setup. Like on the other charts, we was just doing it on the 15 minute because it was showing up on the 15 minute. But if it doesn't show up, like we see this high got ran right here. Do I see any fair value guys? I see one right here. Do I see any bearish ones right here? Yeah, I actually do see a bearish one right here. It's pretty high up in price. Let's see if we even get a run on this one. So we got, oh shit, I hate when that shit does this, damn. So we got this one right here. This is a lower one. And then we got this one right here. Now the reason I wouldn't use this higher one up here, let me see why. Let me show you why. Because I know I see one right here. This is higher in discount. But we got this tiny ass. This is I don't think this even is a nah. Did it touch? No, it didn't touch. It didn't touch, and they do overlap, sort of, kinda. They barely overlap up here. So this is a gray area one. So why would I use a gray area BPR when I could use a BPR like this where they clearly intercept and we have a clear smaller one? All right, bet. Let's delete the bigger one. Let's drag it over. So before any of this shit right here happens, we're looking at what's going on right here. It ran this high, create this BPR after dropping back lower right here. So we're going to use, we could even use from this high to this low before it started retracing. That's if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that because this is the utmost high right here. Fib level's kind of sauced on this. So maybe potentially I would use this high. Like say like real time, I'm trading. I'm like, I don't like the way this look. The BPR up here would be more, it is more efficient. But if we look, we clearly didn't get that retracement up there. So let's just use hindsight to our advantage and just draw it right here. So at worst, we would have got left on this trade. But as we could clearly see, it did tap into this BPR. Times like this, where price got a little too overextended up here, you do end up getting left. Like you won't get this checked off your list. So once you drop to a lower time frame, that's what you're doing. You wanna look for a BPR, use the smaller one, and then determine the range. When you're determining the range, that's pretty much what I said. When you're using a high or low that broke the point of interest, in this case, it's this high up here we're looking to sell. So we're looking for the high that's breaking our point of interest, which is this line right here. This high broke it, and so where did it go from this high? The lowest point it went before we're tracing back up towards our BPR, which was this low down here, which is why we use this low. We would determine the range by just doing that. Boom. Now we know. Actually, look, we can't even take this trade right here, bro. Looking at this range right here, this trade right here, it wasn't enough volume. Let me guess, what time was this? This was New York right here that ran this high, which gave us the setup. But then it kind of got sluggish throughout the rest of the day. And then London came along. I mean, Asia came along and just kept going down. So unless you were able to catch something over here, let's say price ran this joint right here, got this fair value gap. It didn't get a second fair value gap until over here. So yeah, would have been asked out on this day looking at this setup right here. But it still did play out off the BPR. So it's like BPR is good for it, but me personally, I like to stack my confluences. So this is a setup where it really did give me what I was looking for, or everything I was looking for, but it still would have played out had I got off the BPR. But I don't do that. I don't get in if it don't break it for real, for real. We could, let's see if there's one right here. Matter of fact, I'm just looking at regular price action, seeing if there's a setup there. Got D-Lose here. I don't really like how it didn't break this wick. We might be something in here. I doubt it. Just given the track record of looking at stuff that gets overextended throughout the high. Got a point of interest right there on the 15-minute. If the setup doesn't present itself on the 15-minute, which it doesn't because these wicks touch, we do get a 15-minute fair value gap for the BPR right here. Let's see if anything lines up with it on a 5-minute. On the 5-minute, where the hell was we? I hate when they do this. Right here. See if we get anything that line up with this joint on the 5-minute. You got this bullish one right here and then this bearish one right here. These are high up in discount. We don't know if we're going to get the deep retracement. Huh? Put them in a jar. They're on top of the jar. Yeah. So we use a smaller one. In this case, price with an edge dust. That's ass. But the setup does appear. It does show up. We could have possibly used the BPR down here, but you never know when you're going to have to use that BPR. I mean, let's say if we didn't have this point of interest and previously we was looking for this high right here to be ran for some reason. What high was this? This was London, and then London going to clear previous highs. Okay, all right. So let's go up to the 15-minute on that just to get something that works. Gold it got some ugly setups. I ain't gonna lie, but it does work on gold. I am seeing that, but clean joint right here where London session previous high. Like this was the high of London at first. It created this low, but then we could have possibly used this high as a way to enter, knowing that price was previously bullish here and here. Let's continue this bullish trend. I bet this is our point of interest. Let's drop down to we could drop down to the 15 minute or maybe to the 5 minute to find the setup. Or we could do something like this where we do get the setup on the 15 minute. The clearer the setup on the higher time frame, the better. So you want to just take the better. This fair value gap is actually smaller than this one. It's only just smaller one. It's actually surprising. And then from the move that broke this high to that low, it would be. This is a wide range, so let's see if the fib levels. Damn, this is annoying as hell. Let's see. This might actually, because it went so low, I gotta turn that off. This might actually be a good setup. The first picture perfect setup on gold. Look at that. So from this high to this low. Why this low? Because this high is the high that broke this high right here, the high that our point of interest. Let me stop saying the high because I keep saying high. But the point of interest, whatever move broke the point of interest, whatever high that creates, if something goes higher, then you have to use that high. But the highest point that broke or the lowest point that broke the point of interest. So let's say if we was looking down here for this to be the point of interest, whatever point of the candle went below this line, the lowest point, that's what we use. So we would use this for the low if we were using this. But because we're selling and we're looking at a higher high being ran, this is the high right here. So this is the highest point we use from that range to wherever it dropped before coming back closer to the BPR. So you can see it dropped all throughout here, came down here, reversed right here. So this is our low. So this is our dealing range. Now we know our dealing range. We know where our premium setups are, which is down here. Premium setups are not good because you're buying in the premium or selling in the premium. That means you're selling. You want to sell for the most possible amount and buy for the lowest amount type shit. Everybody knows that. So you don't want to be selling down here because this is in a discount. You want to sell in a premium when you get the most for it. So we'll be selling up here. We got it in the green. All right, let's get our fib going from this high to that exact low. Keeping it simple, bro. So once you find that low, once you find your dealing range, which is all you're doing with this fib tool, all you gotta do is get your golden pocket zones, see which one lines up with your fib. All right, bet we clearly saw that the highest one closest to the BPR, which is the 66 because it's in it, not the 70. If one is touching it and this one's real close, just go off the one that's touching it. You could put your stops to this high, but you could also get away with putting your stops at say that the 70 and the 78 aren't in it, you could put your stops behind this. So we could have possibly put our stops here. Let's just say hypothetically we put our stops there because we knew price just wasn't gonna go up there. Let's just put it that way, nigga, because we're looking at hindsight. Now we target these lows right here. We're gonna target these ideal lows because that's the low of the move that when it broke the highest move it created here and it broke here, that's the low of the dealing range. That's what we target for partials. As soon as it breaks that or it comes to that low, you would take your partials, break even, and then you will look for an even lower low. Probably in this case, it will probably be these lows down here. Hold on. It will be these lows down here. I don't know if we ever came and ran those. Never came and ran them. So them runners would have got cooked. Would have got stopped out break even right up here. It seems like it looked like I think actually it would have just missed break even by a point and it would have went right back down to where you got out, if not further. So the most you would have got was right here. I think the next lows I'd have been targeting probably would have been these lows here. And then that's when I got my full TP. It would have came back almost all the way to break even and went. But this don't work, bro. You gotta stack the confluences. So the first step, 1 hour, 15-minute, 1 hour chart or 15-minute chart to determine your point of interest. I already showed you how to do that. You need me to go into it like one by one, like what to do checklist wise, like one by one, not everything all at once. I think I'm gonna do that real quick so that I could get it like video, get it in the video. All right. Put Shawty line. I want to get everything out the way real quick. I get this shot on the video. So we got that box covering the chart.
Hello?
This is all we see. This is all we know. We don't know anything else. All we see is this high. All we see is this high. I can't move my mouse because it's going to freaking show the chart. All we see right now, though, is this high. That's all we know. Oh, shit. They can't even see it on here. Let me move this shit. All right. So all we see is this high. We don't know anything else. What's going on? We know nothing about nothing. What could be a point of interest high for us to hop in? We've been previously bullish. Will we be looking for buys? Possibly. I don't know what, given the criteria. We coming off of a big sell off. Could get a V-shaped like recovery, or we could hit some resistance, fill in some fair value gaps right here, maybe possibly scope to the 1 hour, just so we could get a good overall picture of what's going on and what we will be ideally looking for on this day. I don't want to give a setup where we should possibly where we looking for sales, but we should have been buying. Uh, I would say seeing this high, the only way I would sell is if price showed me that we wanted to sell. So like, so what I would possibly would have did is just marked off this high, which is step one, find a point of interest. I wish I could go back in time. I want to buy that shit so bad, bro. So I could go back in time or just remove those candlesticks. But find a fucking high, bro. Easiest thing in the world to do. We did it right. Was it right here? Right here. We used these highs. These was the highs created at 12 o'clock. And up until it ran it at 4 a.m., this was the highest point of that day. So that's why we would have used it. Let's say we was trading London session tonight and some shit like this showed up. This is exactly what I would be looking for the rest of London if this was the exact same criteria. So this was the high. It made this low here, broke that high, broke our point of interest. Now comes step two. We found our point of interest. That was step one. That was easy. We did have a 1 hour time frame or the 15-minute. Let's just say 15-minute reset chart view. Bitch, stop taking me off my spots, please. Ran that John. Boom. Actually, let's do it on a different one because we just did this one. I don't want to bore you to death on that, John. Let's do one on NQ. NQ has some clean ones the other day when I was back testing looking at it. This is what I want to see NQ do now though. I want to see it break below these lows down here, which I don't know where my alert went. I want to see it break these lows right here. This line. That's my point of interest. So I'm not trading until we could get a break of this line because I want to see NQ break this line. See, I got the exact job. I want to see it come to this line, chop around, break it, chop around, come back up with a big force, breaking this high. Like I want to see it break this high. Like I need to see it break this high. So if it comes this low and creates these highs up here, whichever low point from under the POI, I want to see it punch above this high right here. That'll give this POI the green light for me to continue looking for more setups or for me to continue looking for the setup type shit. So let me just show you another good setup that I would have taken advantage of. What was this? What the fuck was this? Oh, BPR drawn from right here off this point of view, off this point of John high. Did it even give a good move? No, I really didn't. I think this was the high. Never really flushed back below. Nah, that wouldn't have been a good setup. Why? Why was that shit locked? I think this is the day where I just learned to use BPRs and I wasn't really like using them the right way, bro. Like shit was bad. Point in time at every trader career, they gotta be humble. I feel like there's a good BPR play in here. All right, so our point of interest high. Picture perfect joint. I don't know if we went over this. First step, nigga. What's the first step? Oh shit, hold on. I just forgot my headset died. Give me a second. Yo, I forgot my headset died. Yeah, I'm sitting here just talking, not listening the whole time. Hello? Hold on. My camera on this whole time? You can hear me?
Oh, hello. Oh, my mic muted.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh my. All right. So what's the first step, bro?
Identify point of interest.
Boom. That he go. Yo, this nigga's gonna be nice. I did not know my camera was on in this joint. It's a little embarrassing. All right. So the first
Wait,
step of
hold on,
this
hold on,
setup
hold
is
on. Where you at? Let me mark this up with you.
All right.
like as you go.
I'm um I'm on NQ Friday, November 14th.
NQ Friday, November 14th.
So when I started back testing, I started realizing these are the times I figured out that shit shows up the most from 2 to 4 a.m., from 7 to 11 a.m., and from 12 to 3 p.m. So typically 2 o'clock, which let's see when this high was made. This high was probably made 11:45. So this one will be the 7 to 11 a.m. frame or the 12 to 3 frame. So this shit set up around 12. So I'm gonna just put this in the 12 to 3 frame. We probably wouldn't even get this entry like this. This is just a point of interest. We probably wouldn't even get here until another day, which it didn't happen until guess what? Between 2 and 4. 2
Damn, you
a.m.
far
it
as
ran this
shit
high.
back. November
Yeah,
14th.
I'm far as shit back. That's crazy. Like I'm not making these times. So I'm gonna go over everything and why I even decided to get into it. So what's the reason?
November 14th.
This is actually a really good one right here. I'm upset I wasn't watching that shit.
November 14th. What time? 8 what?
At 11:30.
11:30.
That's our point of interest, and the reason being because we got our ICT New York Open lines from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. That is the highest point of that day. So that is a previous day high. So if you're going to daily time frame, that is a high of the candlestick for the November 13th candlestick. So that's our point of interest. We're going ahead and mark that out. All right, now that we got our point of interest, secondly, we want to identify possible targets. Typically, we identify that as we about to go start our limiting, but we could automatically have that drawn up. And my targets ideally would be these lows here. We have some external lows that I want to see price take out. Reason being is simply because I know that we were previously bearish. If you just look to our left, bro, we could clearly see that it was a little bit of a downtrend going on, and continue. We're just going to continue to stay with the trend. We're not going to fight the trend and none of that. So we see that downtrend going on right there previously. We see we got these highs. All right, I want to see price come and take these joints out. Let's see if we can get price to come and take them out. The times that I told you that price does this setup and whatever point in these time ranges, you'll either be executing or it'll be forming. So from 2 to 4 a.m., 7 to 11 a.m., and from 12 to 3 p.m. This is when I seen the shit do it the most and work the easiest, like the best. And like I told you, this shit set up at 12, damn near. It made this high. It did make this high at 12. It ran this high at 2 a.m. So it's like you got to think. You think I'm just making shit up? So automatically off the rip for this confirmation, we got the POI high, following trend. For me, we're gonna do following trend like this. Um, so the point of interest high is in confluence with the trend. We got our higher high mark that we want to see price run and then shift. And what I mean by shift is you see how when it broke this point of interest high right here and it made this low all the way down here, you see what it did? It actually broke this lower high or this higher high right here. So this is what I like to see. And once I draw this up, you're gonna kind of notice like what this is. So like what happened here, it made this high. Let's just say price did this, it's doing all this, and made these highs. It dropped a little bit. What I like to see price do is run these orders down here and drop lower than this. But before it continues dropping, I want to see it come back into our BPR and our fibs and drop lower. So if you peep, it's exactly what we kind of went over the other day. Actually, should it be? Yeah, it's this way right here. Wait, nah, I think I had it the right way. Yeah, it's this way right here. So yeah, I like to see the highs that we have. This is our POI high. I'll have to mark it out for you so it looks the same as what we're going over. POI high would be right here before it ran that high. Mark that off right here. And what we can see is price ran this high, typically at 2 to 4 a.m., which it did right here, ran it at 2 a.m., and it went back down. Now let's keep going even further to see if we can even get a perfect setup right here, which I do see a good setup. We're probably gonna have to use this BPR right here. Yeah. Drag it over, and then I see a bearish one right here. This is all on a 15 minute. Like when I tell you, when it shows up on the bigger time frame, it shows up. Like, it's gonna really show up. It's gonna really pop out. Like it's gonna pop out to you. So if you're having a hard time finding a nigga, just drop down and just get more details. And that's all the lower time frame is, just more details. Could be misleading at times. This is why I like to stay on the higher time frame. So we got POI trend plus BPR. For me, that's the second. The second step is to find a BPR, where a bearish and bullish fair value gap overlap. And you know which one we using?
For it's my fault. I was drawing up my shit. What'd you say?
I said out of the bullish and bearish BPR, which one do we use?
The the bear or whichever one's the smallest one.
There you go. Make sure you remember that. All right. Make sure you
Yeah.
remember that. And you only want to use a fair value gap that is on the move that breaks that point of interest. So like you see how we drew up this fair value gap here? Because this move right here broke it. This move right here restored it. So we want to find a fair value gap within this general area right here. Not right that whole shit, but this general area right here. This is the only place that we could find a legitimate BPR, which is a balanced price range, where price broke out and then corrected itself. So created a BPR here, as we can see later in the day. And guess what time this shit happened, gang? I don't be making this shit up, gang. From 7 to 11 a.m., shit retraced back into this BPR, 9:45, bro. This is the time we get up to trade. Right here. This point right here lines up with this point right here in this John. Oh shit. Lines up with this point right here on this John, bro. For me, those 2 points line up, and then these 2 points right here line up together. Oh shit, let me draw another one. And these two are the same exact points. So this should all make sense, bro. This is what we're looking for. Got our POI. I'm gonna label all of these shits too, just to make sure it's all there for whoever don't know what's going on. Anybody who I show this video to in the chat or whatever. And then make this shit smaller. 8. Nah, maybe a little bit bigger. 11. Because on my screen it's pretty big. Maybe 14. Let me just, because that's like it says POL. POI right there. That's all that this red is. Let's make this box fucking red so we can get everything color coded. Let's bold this. Oh, we can't even. Yes, we can. We want light shaded because we don't want to overly do it. POI. And we're going to mark it up here too. We're just going to clone this shit. POI, POI, which is where we're going to just put it over the line because POI, POI. All the shits is right there. Just to give it an extra for me, an extra understanding. Why we chose a higher high, not a higher low? Because typically when price runs a higher low, it runs it like this to continue up. That's not following the trend. That's why when I say POI follows trend, the higher high we want to see ran so that it'll look completely reverse. We want to see the higher high be ran like this. Build these orders, build these orders. We want to see it get ran like this to drop lower, to break this low. The key importance of this whole shit is that this move that breaks these highs must break these lows right here. So these lows will be right here, all stacked up. Let's just even bring them a little bit lower just to clean everything up. We want to see this high right here. A move that creates this high right here has to correct itself and break these lows. So from this low right here, then what we want to see is it retrace back into the BPR or fair value gap at either 70 or 78%. So that's pretty much a deep retracement. So we kind of want to see this, what they call it, a breaker block. We want to see it retrace back into this and just continue lower. That's a whole bunch of ICT concepts that I just said it right there, but it's all simplified right here, bro. Like literally right in front of us again. I got this shit drawn up. Honestly, this is some new shit. I just peeped this shit. Like this is literally the power of 3 or the 3 phases of the market that I was just telling you about last week. So remember, the move that breaks the highs must correct itself and break the lows. And if you see right here when it broke this high, the low that they created, I'm gonna mark this low out. I'm gonna label it blue for me. The low that they created again, I don't make this shit up. I'm not just saying this shit because I want to say it out my ass. But look at the lows, nigga. It broke both of these bitches. This is the most point. This is the most lowest point that price broke. Actually, no, not even this point. It was this point right here. So let's label this purple. Just to color code everything, get everything. Feel me? You see what I'm saying now? You see how the blue went past the purple on both of these examples? On this little stick joint here and on a real candlestick chart, bro.
Yeah.
So we got that POI. We got that higher high that broke our POI. Then from this higher high, that low must break this low right here, which was the lowest point before breaking the POI. So market broke itself, it broke out, then it corrected itself. This is the correction. So how the next step after finding our POI is finding our dealing range. And I'm gonna show you how to find our dealing range. I'm gonna show you on a stick joint first, how to find your dealing range. So what you wanna do is identify, all right, I got my POI. My dealing range is now the area or that where price went and broke this POI. The highest point where price broke this POI is right here. Tap this joint right here. Now, where's the low of our range? All right, we got to figure out where is price going to go before retracing. We got to see the most lowest point. At this point in time on this stick joint, it'll be this joint right here. Now, this is our dealing range. We now mark out our discount and premium, and this determines where we can enter or not enter our trades. So if price did retrace right here, we wouldn't be able to enter in with this dealing range because we're in a premium of price. We don't want to be selling for the least amount. We want to sell for the highest amount. So we want to ideally see price come back to, like I said, this breaker block, which is 9 times out of 10 in the premium in the discounted price. So, well, why you selling want to sell for premium? I don't want to confuse you and for me. Appreciate the sub. I don't want to confuse you and talk about that right now. But yeah, that's how you find our dealing range. Now how to find it on a real chart, same exact thing. You take that high, which is this high right here, and then the low of that move, which is this low right here. And we could clearly see that this BPR is in a premium of price. For selling, you want to be in the premium because you want to sell for the most possible amount you could get, but you want to buy it for the lowest amount possible. So when you're looking for sales, you want it to be in this premium of price. So it came back up here, tapped into this BPR. We also get our fib going. Actually, we don't even have to use the fib. You could just literally don't even got to drop another fib. You could use that same exact fib, just change it to GPZ. And you would see that the 70% is closer to it than the 78%. So that's the fib level we will use to go short off of. Before price even gets there, we'll already have that fib and BPR established. So what we could do is we could put our stops below the highest golden pocket zone level, which would just be a really tight stop. It is a 30-point stop, so that's probably what I would have did that day, given that this range is mad wide. Like, who the fuck wants a 124-point stop on this? We could do that, given that we were targeting these lows, and it's a 620-point jump. But instead of it being a 1 to 22, a 1 to 20, a 1 to 18, it now drops down to a 1 to 5, simply because we widen out our stop to 100 points. So, like I said, when we enter into these trades, we want to be subjective to what's going on in the market. If the range is wide, just respect it. You don't really need a tight stop. Honestly, this shit does allow you to catch the bottom tick, so you could just say, fuck it, I'm going to be risky and go 38-point stop, 40-point stop. I like to round up a little bit, so if, say, this shit is at the 35 level, I would say I'll just push it to 40, just to be safe. And then, like I said, bro, 1 to 15 right there in your pocket, bro. And the point that you're looking to break even at is this point right here. So this low right here, the low that we first marked out for liquidity. This is where we break even and take partials. This is where the liquidity rests. We could hold for lower to see if it goes lower, which it did a couple days later. I don't know if I'll be holding this trade all that long. I'll probably fuck around. 1 to 15 game, I probably fucked around and take my profits, bro. Like fully. And I wouldn't even take partials. But this is where I would look to take partials. I will always say what you could do is you could always use, like, you know, where it created. Let me just delete some of this shit because some of this shit starting to overlap and be mad annoying. What you could use as a partial target. Oh shit, bring that back. What you could use as a partial target is the initial low that was created before retracing. So what did I call that shit? I forget what the fuck I called that shit. Their dealing range low. So that's where you could use to target your partials. Take your partials right here. Boom. Put that joint right there. Got his jump. Put that joint right there. All right, bet. That's where I'm taking partials. I'm taking partials at 1 to 7, and then now you could be like, all right, bet. Full TP is a 1 to 15. Feel me? So that's how you could break it down, and it'll simplify your trade and make sure that you come home with something. So the reasoning behind this trade, let me go back and get everything back up. All right. All right. So the reasoning behind this trade, the point of interest follows the trend of being bearish of previous day, just being bearish. You could see yesterday, or not yesterday, but the previous day or this day. Damn, previous day, this day was bearish. Our bet, we got our higher high marked out to be ran, swept back below, gave us that setup. We got our entry at, it looks like 9:45. Looks like we would have got our TP, full TP, we would have got at close to 12 o'clock that night. So if we were on the fundeds, we probably would have took full profit at, let's just say we took partials here. I would have took full profit somewhere down here. We don't know when it's fully gonna reverse. Um, at the least you're making, bro, every time once you take partials at the um dealing range low. I'm gonna say dealing range low. All I mean is the low that from the high that was created when it broke the point of interest, the low that it created before reversing. That's the dealing range low. I don't want to confuse you. Let me know if that confused you at all. I'll go over that and delete everything off this chart because it kind of is getting jam packed on this. Bitch. Do you understand this three phases right here? Do I need to go deeper into that, John?
Nah, yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, and then this last part right here, our entry. We're gonna label this John yellow.
Wait, and where I
And you
set
go.
the golden range for like where am I setting that from?
So how to find that golden range fib and shit like that. Let me just delete all of some of this because this shit kind of is just in a way a little bit. Cause you say you understand that, so we don't need that up no more. Damn, hella shit on this chart, bro. Them circles hard as shit to delete. So how you find where to set that shit from is you take it from the high that broke the point of interest. So if we're looking for sales, we're looking for a higher high to break our point of interest.
Okay, the
We
high
got
that
that
broke
higher
the
high right
point of
here.
interest, and then
Yep. To the low before it started retracing back towards our BPR. So in this little range right here, it did retrace a little bit here, but it went lower. It did retrace here, but it went lower, then went lower. Then it stopped right here. So this is where we would have it set in real time. Then it would start this big ass bullish candle. That's when we be like, all right, bet it's coming towards the 62% level. Let's get our we already know that we want to get it at the 70. Let's put our limit in. We would start bringing up our order probably, and then can't even do it because my shit not logged in. Then I got it saved though. Never mind, shit not popping up. But yeah, we'll put our limit order in and then take this trade all off a limit order, and we would have got our parcels at the dealing range low. The low from the low that the fib is at, that's where you take your partials at. And then your full TP will be external liquidity, which would be way down here, which it would have hit later that day. Oh, this is not almost 12 o'clock. It's almost one. This is 1 o'clock. One almost 2 o'clock. We would have got full TP, so we'd have been holding this, John. John would have smacked. John would have smacked, bro. Would have been a W, John. Damn, I'm kind of upset I wasn't. But yeah, Confluence,
W teacher.
BPR plus GPZ plus um point of interest following the trend plus the BPR plus the BPG. That's literally the checklist right there. BPR, BPG. Um, then we're using price action to determine stop loss. And by that, it's just this high. Like I said, you know the range is wide. If you wanted to cut your stop loss even in half and just leave it at the POI, knowing that price may not go back up there, or you want to even be riskier and leave it at the 78%, knowing that price could go there, but it's not likely.
W teacher, man.
But yeah. But you see how this shit's so chicken bouillon though?
Nah,
Like
yeah.
this shit is chicken bouillon, bro. And look where we got in that on this tick, bro. Like you see the type of ticks we catching? Bottom tick, bro. Like once we see price really start to reject, now we could cut our stop loss to this. For me, now we could bring our stop loss down and really check this jump for a 1 to 15. Yeah, guaranteed. We're not gonna be risking. Say like if we put our stop losses back here in the account, say we're risking 500. Yeah, if we cut our stop losses right here after we enter in with those contracts, it's only gonna be risking about 150 to 200 right here. But that's still cool, bro. For every amount of time price moves this much, you're making $200. It's going down 18 times. So 18 times 200, bro. Nigga, please, I'll take that any day, especially on a live account. $3,600 right there on a live account trade. Funded account's gonna be jumping, bro. Trust. Trust. I gotta catch one of these bitches on the live though. No kids. But yeah, shit pop up like butter, bro. Especially on NQ and NAS. And then let me actually go back because we might could add on an extra confluence. I don't have these sunrise levels. Let's see if we got a level right there. It says that it created an SMT right here. So at this exact point in time, we're gonna highlight this, John. We're gonna just put a circle over it because I don't feel like coloring our box and having to undo that shit. So what time was this? This exact point in time, Monday, November 17th at 9:45 a.m. It's saying that NQ ran this high right here, but ES didn't. So that's the SMT. So what November was that? Fuck. November what, like 17th, I said? November 17th, 9:15 a.m., 9:45 a.m. November, right here. Extra confluence, SMT added on there at Monday, November 17th at 9:45, right here. So it's saying that on ES, this high right here didn't get ran. That's what it's saying. You can see clearly the highs right here. It missed this high by 5.25 points or by 5 points on ES. Let me just zoom in so that shit don't look so small. But yeah, ES missed that high that NQ ran through. So, and that's just the rise SMT indicator. So that does still work. Like you could just take a buy or sell based off that. But I like to add extra confluence. So given that I wanted shorts on that same exact day, but on a different chart, and one chart ran that high and the other one didn't, it shows that this chart is leading and that we're about to actually go for a little run. So that explains why that setup played out so cleanly and really did what it's supposed to do. So if you could add all three of them, like I said, if you could get all of these confirmations plus the rise SMT in there, bro, I'm telling you, bro, this shit is chicken, bro. Life changing money. Life changing money. Once I really like get this joint down though, bro, it's raps. I told you the setup that I took earlier, I made 300, bro. I was trying to get it on the live account, but it left the live account, bro. Left the live account. I got it on the fundage though. I made 300 after losing like 300 though. On Sunday doing bullshit, literally pressing stupid shit, bro. But yeah, bro. You understand it? You need me to go over anything or?
I understand it, twin.
All right, bet. So go ahead, go share your screen and then find the setup. Let's back test it.
I need to
You gotta
get
back test
I
it.
need to get active with this, John. I need to
Nah,
fund it.
nah, bro. Back test it first. Trust. I thought the same thing, bro. I back tested it first to get an understanding. Cause like it's hard determining for me personally, the thing that was hard for me was determining the point of interest. But because I clarified it, went over some YouTube videos, I literally taught myself this strat, bro. This shit is chicken bouillon, bro. I think you at least need to go over one setup. At least let me find one setup, and then I'm gonna tell you go to that day to see if you could like draw it up type shit. But I'm trying to tell you, it really does help if you could. Well, I'm not even trying to pick on you or nothing. Like it really does help if you could look for it by
All
yourself,
right,
back testing and doing it.
I'll be right back. Let me grab my heater real quick. It's cold.
All right. I think we went over this one already, chat, but I want to give it to him anyway. I think this is Friday, November 21st. No, we didn't go over this one actually. Yeah, we didn't go over this one. Let me draw it up on my chart real quick just to make sure it's a valid setup. I don't want to give him a setup that's a dud. We actually do have this. Yeah, this is crazy. This is the one I back tested the other day. Free game. Top down analysis, chat. I'm marking my point of interest on the 15 minute. That's this line right here. Boom. I know how I get my point of interest. That's this line right here. Reason being is because if you look between these two black lines right here, in between this black line and this black line, both of these black line represents 12 o'clock. So in between each line represents one day. This is the lowest point of November 20th. So that is why I am using it. It is a previous day low, and that level holds value to me in my setup in my checklist. Boom, price ran this. While running it, it also corrected itself and went back into the I would say the range because I would say range because if you look from the previous day high to low, which be right here and right here. Now these two black lines, this black line down here and this black line down here, you have the daily. That's the daily range. So price broke out of that daily range just to go back into it, and that's pretty much what I look for. I look for price to break out of daily ranges and go back into them. All of these key levels, all of the key levels represent is one side of that range. So it broke out of the downside of the range and corrected itself back into there. Drag this joint over. Boom. Goes over here. We get they're actually the same exact size. Then we get a like this is crazy. All right, so yeah, this one does work. So I'm gonna see if you could damn, this one was picture fucking perfect too. Holy crap. All right, so let's see if you could do it. I found a day. Let's see if you could walk me through on how to mark this up. If I was brand new to this shit, that's how good I want you to be off day one. I want you to be able to tell me how I could find a setup on it. So the day is Friday, November 21st, 2025 on NQ. Hold on, let me be right back while you go in there. Wow, wow, wow. What's all that on your chart?
You said what?
So what's all that on your chart? I'm gonna show the stream your chart.
What you talk about?
Actually, I can't because that shit. I guess I can't. All right, perfect. That's cool, 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 cool beans. All right, you got Friday, November 21st.
Yes.
Is it the 21st? Let me make sure.
Friday 21st, 25, bro.
Um, nah, yeah. So the setup occurs on the 25th, but you're gonna have, I mean, on the 21st, but you're gonna have to, for me, find a point of interest. So go ahead, find a point of interest. Let me know where you find your point of interest at. Remember that sometimes price does just happen to, it can come to that point of interest twice or two times, three times, whatever. How many times? That doesn't stop the joint as long as it doesn't just break and just keep dumping. What would you use as your point of interest? Use your turn off the kill zones. Like you see where it says kill zones? Delete that. Wait. So what that's just your chart background?
Yeah.
Wait, turn the kill zones back on. Let me see what pops up again. Yeah, delete that whole John. I'm gonna show you which one to use. Go to ICT New York Open. I'm gonna actually send it to you on John because yeah, I might gotta send it to you. I don't even know how to share indicators, gang. Oh, here we go. ICT New York. I'm about to send you this link on Discord. You want to activate this, and this is going to help you find point of interest and shit. It's going to make everything way simpler for you. It's just the black lines that I got on my chart that show you where 12 o'clock is. You're going to have to let me know where it shows you 12 o'clock is. I'll just keep my camera on the shit on the stream now because I got my shit up. It's all good though. My room messy. I'm moving, guys. This is gonna look different in a couple days. Now when you go to that when you go to the ICT New York Open, let me go to your settings. Let me show you which ones. I gotta look at mine real quick. Go to inputs, turn off everything but the first one, the one that's black, or the first one should be blue. Turn off everything except the one that's blue. So everything, yeah, turn that all off. Everything below that, yep, turn plus that one too, yeah, turn that off, off. I think there might be one more underneath. I don't know. And change from blue to what color is your chart? You could change the color to something that pops out more. That blue. I think you could change. Nah, yeah, I don't think you can change the thickness. But yeah, so in between every white line is 1 day. So that'll help you identify which point to use as your John. Oh wait, go into your settings again. Forgot, because that's not even 12 o'clock every line. You see where it says 8:30 to 8:31. Silent. Um, or hover over the white lines and see what time it says when you hover over it, like on the regular chart. 00. All right, yeah. So now every white line represents one. I mean, between every two of those lines represents 1 day. So if you go back to your chart, if you're having a hard time, just look to your left. If you're trading on that day, you want to be looking at the previous day, high or low,
Eggs,
whichever one you're closer
bacon,
to.
grits, sausage.
So literally,
Oh,
you're on the 21st. So look at the 20th. Look for the 20th slow.
uh,
Feel me? That's your point of interest. So before it ever came close to it, let's say at 9 o'clock, you already got on late. Just mark out previous day low. Boom. To keep going from there, now what you gotta do? What's that? What you marking up? I don't know what that is.
what's today? 20th, previous day low.
That's a previous day low, but what is it though? Like, why am I marking this on my chart? Like, you gotta lead the way this trading day. What if this trading day I got memory wiped and you had to lead the way, nigga?
What you mean lead the way?
Like, I'm just copying you, nigga, because I suck.
Why you copying me?
Because nigga,
Why you copying me?
hypothetically, bitch, come on, bro. Nigga in the way. This nigga's in the way. All right, what time frame was you on when you did that, bro?
Oh shit, bro, I'm wildin', bro. That's me. That's me, gang. That's me, gang. Hold up, gang. Hold up, gang.
Um,
Trying to find myself in this shit.
Wait, delete everything off your chart, run, and then redraw that line because you're gonna keep getting lost
What line?
because you got shit on the chart. The line for the, but you can keep that line. You found it. Never mind.
I know where it's at, Zeke. Alright, point of
You don't.
interest.
And what you find that on? What chart is that on?
NQ. NQ, NASDAQ, NQ. I
I
found
mean,
the
but what
point of
time frame is
interest
that
on
though?
the 1 hour time frame on
All right.
Thursday the
Do
20th.
you, what's the next step though? What we gotta do now?
What's the next step after we mark out the
Mm-hmm.
give me a second, give me a second, give me a second.
What'd you say?
Alright, yeah, okay, okay. Okay.
What'd you say?
What?
What'd you say, bro?
After we mark up the previous day, you know, are we going
Our point of interest, not the previous day, whatever. It is the previous day low, but it also happens to be our point of interest, and that's what we're going by.
once we mark up our point of interest, we're going to mark up. Wait, Justice. Well, here you marked. So, am I going for the
Yeah, because
bullish aspect as
that's a
well?
that's a sell. Now
So
we're buying. Yeah.
I'm
So
going on
now
the
it
bullish
flips.
aspect of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, sure, say no
And the
more. Alright, okay,
reason,
okay.
yeah.
Alright, okay, then I would, I'd mark up. Um, the highest point. Price came previous day. This isn't our point of interest though. Okay, once I do that,
What is that? The highest point? What is that? Was that some sort of like target or something?
uh, yeah, targets, 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 targets.
Type shit.
I don't know when it's going to
Type
hit
shit.
targets, but targets. We
That's
can't see
that's
this. We can't see this.
okay. Is that where you're breaking even, or is that like full targets?
Full targets. Full targets.
That's full targets.
Yeah, full targets. Full targets.
But if you zoom out though, feel me? If you zoom out, we got more external liquidity. That's internal liquidity. So full targets ideally should be the high of Thursday. Ideally, that should be full targets.
Yeah,
Partial
Thursday.
targets, that's Thursday's high.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I couldn't even. Oh, we got a crossing on gold, bro. Might get the setup on gold to play out. Oh, gold is playing out right now. Gold is hitting us low. Let's get this drawn up on a 15 minute. While you go, I'm gonna just let you know if we get this set up or not. It's looking like we getting it, to be honest. But
And then we use our
all right,
range fib.
no, no, no. So what happened is, all right. So look, this is what you messed up at.
Where'd I mess up at?
We got the POI, cool. You're on a 1 hour time frame still.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So delete the fib and everything. That high, that's why that high looks so close. I'm like, why that shit look so close? So now if you look, go back to that day, that high look far as shit, don't it? So now the high we would be targeting is the high right underneath that. You see right there to the left and of Thursday?
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah, that high. Now that's partials. Now that's where we taking partials. Yeah, you see in the past. Yeah, not in the future, in the past. But that high right there, yeah, the high you just had. Go back right. Yeah, that high right there. That's where we taking partials, and the one above that is that's where we taking fulls at. That's where we taking everything off the table. That's where we leaving runners to just continue going. Why can't I see my chat? That is very annoying. But but yeah, now that you're on a 1 hour time frame, on a 15-minute time frame, look where price broke the POI.
At what point?
What time frame? The first time it did it.
Oh, right here.
You're on a 15-minute, right,
This
on
is this
NQ.
is 5:30 or 5:50.
Okay, so let's just say for some reason we was trading an early London session,
5 o'clock actually.
right? 5 o'clock, it broke the POI. You could delete that fib because that fib is actually that's not where we draw from. That's that the only thing we using that high for up there is targets. That's where we were looking for to take full targets at. Partials is going to be the internal liquidity. The reason we're targeting that middle line that you got marked out is because it's inside the range. That's where we're looking to break even and take partials and just really just leave the charts for the day and just see if it could go full to that full TP type shit. So the reason being, like I'm saying, can't even show the John, but that's external liquidity. So that's really where price is ultimately looking to go, bigger picture. But for right now, just for us to make money, make rent, make ends meet, we're going to take partials at this internal liquidity, which is that high. So before we can even get to that internal liquidity, we need to figure out how the fuck we could get into this trade. After you drew up the POI, I like to change like my lines up too, but if that's the like how you want to have your shit, every line look the same. It kind of can get confusing in the midst of everything. But you want to just see, like I said, where price broke that POI the first time. See if there's any fair value gaps on the 15 minute. You might gotta go to the right of your chart and like stretch it up so that the candlesticks get bigger. And then yeah, so it like shows you the gaps better. So you just want to see if you could find a bullish fair value gap and the bearish fair value gap. Let me know off the first time it broke the POI. The first time. Gold is setting up pretty nicely.
Where's
Pretty nicely.
mm,
I don't know if somebody was saying something in the chat. I don't know what they was chatting on. Let me go to Twitch. I don't know why it's not showing me my chat. This shit is annoying. Juanito, he's talking about you the best. Sub badge, okay.
you the best, bro. Bro, you the best, bro.
Yeah, you see, but you
Bro.
see the fair value gaps. Those shits are they the same size or nah?
What you mean?
The fair value gaps, the bearish one and the bullish one side by side. You see how you got one of the bearish one maxed out. If you look right next to that, it's also a bullish one, and they're the same size. Yo, Mike, what's going on?
They
They like the same size, right? All right, so you just stick with that one. Just use
They
that
are the
one.
same size.
It look like they are.
You draw it off the
Like if
Wix,
you
right?
yeah off the Wix, I can't really see it on my chart.
Nah,
Let me just look on my chart.
nah, that shit not the same size.
They not the same. They damn near the same game. The Bears one might be a little smaller, or is the Bullets one? I ain't gonna lie, they look exactly the same on my chart, bro. So honestly, just draw it and with use whatever one you see is smaller. They look the same on my shit, but just then drag it over. That's the first. That's the second step. Finding the BPR gang. You want to find the BPR. What I'm doing right now, y'all boys, I'm just trying to give them sauce on the setup on how to make this cash, how to get this cash on these charts. I'm just showing his screen right now.
Oh shit, I'm fried.
I'll share my screen actually. Y'all be able to see my screen. So let me do that. How do I even do this? Here we go. Now y'all can see my screen. Now this is my screen. Trying to show him this. Why is he going to do that though? Let me not even do that because that shit. It's going to draw anyway. Discord so ass. But yeah. So the second step is always going to be find the BPR, bro.
Okay.
And how you find the BPR is off that move that broke your POI. You probably want to put this in your notes on sticky notes or something on your desk. Each individual stage at a time on each different sticky note. So that's how you want to get it. Anyway. Yo. Anyway, yeah. So you found the fair value gaps that off the move that broke it. Now you gotta find your dealing range. That's the third step. Find your dealing range. If I didn't already say the third step. Second step, find BPR. First step, POI. Second step, BPR, or unfair value gaps that lead to a BPR. And then third step, you want to find your dealing range. How you find your dealing range is you use the move that broke the POI to the move right before it retraced. So the low that broke the POI to the move that right before it started retracing to your BPR. So typically, it's literally the same move that broke and made the BPR, that broke the POI but made the BPR. That's the same low point that you want to use to start at. So the low that broke the POI, start there with your fib. And then you want to draw it to the point right before it started retracing back to the BPR. And yeah, it'll be down there to be the higher. If you go up, right, go down a little bit more. Wait, let me see, because this shit, I don't know why that shit looks so different on my shit. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be up there where you was at, where that S&T was created. You probably want to change your chart from black. Cause I don't know why the fuck is that shit two different colors right there? That shit pisses me off. But yeah, now that's your dealing range. Also, go in that tool and turn on the background for that the discount and premium tool. If that's the discount and premium one, I don't know if that's the discount and premium one. Yeah. So now you want to be looking for a setup in the green. Now once you find your dealing range and you see that the BPR is in the green, now you got the second confirmation done. You got your BPR done. You got the third confirmation done. You got the dealing range done. Now you know in this zone I want to take a buy. Got to be in that green zone, nigga. It has to be in that green zone. If your BPR is in there, nigga, next step fib. Now take the fib from them same exact levels. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, you gotta get this down because if this is happening in real time and the shit retracing, you gonna want to already have all of this up with your order in before this shit happens. So yeah, it sets itself up, but you gotta be on point. Like you gotta, for me. Now look, what I said was the best zones to get in at 70 and 78. So whichever one is in it and closer to it, which they both are in it at this point. So you could go off of either one. Judgment calls, like I said, you're gonna have to make a lot of judgment calls on this bitch. You could also take off the dealing range now because now you already know that you're targeting that dealing range high. That's the high that you want to target when you get in. So where would you get in on this, John? It really don't matter as long as you keeping your stops below the low using price action like I always do. If you get in at the lowest point at the 78%, you want to make sure you use price action as your stop loss because now you don't have a golden pocket zone level to use as your stop loss now because now you're at the lowest one. So It's really a judgment call. You could do whatever you want. Me personally, I would have got in at the 78. Just seeing that it's almost at the center directly, I would have put my entry there, put my limit order there, put my stops maybe below this low. We on Nasdaq. That's a steep low. Yeah, I probably just put it below there. And like I said, we looking for the dealing range high. That would have gave us a 1 to 3. That's where we would have took partials though. Our real targets would have been the external liquidity, which is those highs from Thursday or the previous day, I should say, not Thursday, because this is not our days. But you people don't try and feel me.
Yeah, I understand, bro.
The shit easy, but you gotta. I want you to be able to go on a chart and any day see if your setup popped up on that day.
Nah, yeah, I understand
But
it.
this is clear cut. That I feel like you just literally just take some like literally just write down each checklist or each like for me and just before you while you trading before you trade whatever before you getting your joint,
All right,
just
wait.
make sure
Run me
when you're
through the
looking for your
checklist
shit,
so
it
I
got
can
all of
write
it.
it down and write it in my notepad. What's the first thing? How many bullets are there? We're just gonna go through
All right,
numbers. One. What's one?
good to the 5 viewers in the chisel. 5 viewers in the chisel in the chat. Say I got 5 across both platforms. I think. What's going on with y'all, man? All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready, man.
Step one is find a point of interest or POI. You're gonna hear me say POI a lot, so I will get used to that term for sure, for sure. I
One
appreciate the subscribe, Great Scar. Appreciate you.
fine point of interest.
I appreciate the subscription, the sub, because this is not Twitch. But yeah, find POI. That's number one. This is the checklist to success chat. If you want to get put on, copy everything I'm writing right now.
All right,
You
what's the
don't you
second
don't
one?
gotta understand it. Just search it up on YouTube. Number two, after you find the POI, drop down to a lower time frame. Unless, like, say you find the POI on a 15 minute. So make sure when you put that on there, say find POI 15 minute or 1 hour time frame. That's where you find it at. If you're on a 1 hour, drop down to the 15 minute. That's step two. But let me know when you're ready for step two.
Step two.
So step two, after you find POI on 15 minute time frame or 1 hour time frame, you drop down to a lower time frame. Now, if you're on a 15 minute time frame and you got your point of interest and price comes to it and it creates that fair value gap and everything, you don't have to drop down to the 5 minute time frame unless the 15 minute is not giving you clear price action. So if the 15 minute looks ugly, then yes, you can continue to drop down. So drop down based off of your read. If you can't read it clearly, just keep going down to get more detail. So from finding your POI, drop down time frames and find a fair value gap, or I should say BPR. So step two will be find BPR, drop down time frames and find BPR. You don't have to drop down time frames. That's why I don't like to really put that in front of there, because sometimes you might just find it on the 15 minute. But if it's not clear, like I said, drop down and find a BPR. That's step two. Find a BPR.
All right.
You already know how to find a BPR.
Three.
What'd you say? Number three, from finding the BPR, you want to assess your dealing range. And that's just, like I said, the move that went and broke the POI, whatever high or low that was. You want to start there. That's where you're starting your fib. And then you're ending your fib right before you move that retrace. So whatever high it made before retracing back towards the BPR you found. So that's how you find your dealing range. Step three would be find the dealing range. And if you were going over these at any time and don't remember how to do any of them, thing, just let me know or some shit. And then get it down in your notebook for what each one really is and how to do each one.
All right, four. What's next?
After you find your dealing range, you want to pull out your golden pocket range or your golden pocket zones, and you want to see if any uh fib level on that pocket range matches up with the BPR. If it does, you got all four of the checklists done. The next step would be put in your limit order, and boom, waiting for price to come tap you in. Step four would be adding. It would technically be stacking confluence because you want to see
What store?
the price. Oh my, you want to stack confluence. You want to see
5. Is that it? That's all 4. That's it.
Yeah, that's just the checklist right there. Number 5 would be enter trade with limit order. Put your limit order in, and then assess price action. Once you see it start to come back towards the BPR, that's when you should start be putting, because that's when you'll have your dealing range set. Now you want to stack confluence to see if BPR aligns with the fib, the golden pocket zones. And if it does, then you want to go ahead and put that limit order in and just wait. We got a setup happening right now on gold. I'm gonna see. It's actually setting up beautifully. It broke below. If it could
WTF's bro.
close, if the
W's.
15-minute could close right here, like if you look on gold, my POI is the low that it created at 15 at 015 015 0015. That low right there is my POI, and price ran that
Are
shit.
you on
I'm bullish.
gold?
Price been bullish as hell.
Which gold are you on? Like gold
MGC one,
MCX or
yeah.
MGC?
MGC one micro gold futures comics.
MGC1. Oh, comics.
But yeah, so my low, I mean, my point of interest is the low that it created on Monday at 0015. Remember on these trades, bro, have your partials target and then your full target. Make sure you're taking your partials. Make sure your stop loss makes sense with price action. Because every time you're getting in on one of these setups, your stop loss is always going to be below or above a higher high or a lower high, depending on if you're buying or selling. So you'll always have somewhere to reference where to put your stop loss every single time, bro. Shit, we're like gold. I missed this perfect gold setup right here when it ran this high right here, deviated above, continued lower, came back into it. This actually would have been ugly, so I'm glad I didn't take it. If we do this high though, this high was ran. That wasn't really ran too crazy though.
Okay,
This
so
was a clean break. I need to see
1
this
hour.
thick and hold. Just gotta get us probably like another hour or so to play out. Another hour or two. See if I can catch a good setup on a live account. Probably
Previous
not gonna be
day
live no more,
low.
but yeah.
Previous day low. Previous day high. Nah. Drop
Pause.
down
Troy
some.
out.
15.
Trophies, you may not see. She wanna get out of make her really feel pretty. Cause she don't feel pretty. Trying to see what's going on, man. Trying to see what's going on. Trying to see what's going on. Probably right in the live though. That's everything. That's all the game. Y'all was here watching that joint. Y'all welcome. Run it back, slow it down, break it down, take notes. You'll make a hell of money. I'm gonna charge for this in the future, mark my words. So you got what you got. Don't get upset. I'll be back on this joint tomorrow morning, bro. Oh my goodness, I really don't. I gotta go to work, bro. Fuck.
Fine BPR.
Look, you trying to smoke? What the fuck?
Me too.
I want to get some food first. To be honest,
Alright,
I ain't
bet. Let
eat.
me know when you do that. That's what I'm saying.
All right, bet. I'm probably ready to go grab a Popeyes
Oh.
chicken sandwich or
Nah,
some
yeah,
shit.
I understand it, man. I just appreciate you. Gang, good session, gang.
Yeah,
Alright.
bro.
Tap
That
in.
shit. I've been trying. I've been telling you, nigga. That shit is gold.
Tap in with
Try-
a nigga in a little bit, and then we gonna talk about how we about to get paid.
All right.
We about to get paid. Alright. Me and my Discord call. Let me end my stream. How long we was on it for? too long.